Eric B's Daily Vlogs.
Nice view of this part of San Francisco. The sun is out just a little bit. I'm actually not here to talk about anything like the Golden Gate Bridge or the Presidio National Cemetery. I'm here more to talk about not the Korean War Memorial, but what happened in the Korean War Memorial that affected my life and my family's life a lot. So let's get this started.
We interrupt our program to bring you this important message.
Welcome everyone, it's my daily vlog channel, Eric B's Daily Vlogs. Still using the DJI Osmo Action. Liked it. Figured out the tweaks and all that. Still have the Rode Wireless Go, so I can actually put the camera down like that and walk away, talk to you guys. But that's not what we're talking about today. I did the not full review of the Osmo Action yesterday, but somewhat of a review. But today, I'm here to talk about the Korean War. And again, what happened during the Korean War that it's kind of sort of affecting my life as we speak right now. So let's go walk around the memorial. Let's go check out some of the stuff they have. Let's go check this out. Let's go. Let's go. So what happened back in the Korean War is I had a grandfather by the name of Marcelo. Last name is the same as mine. He was born in San Bernardino, California. Met my grandmother when he enlisted in the Army. Met my grandmother in the Philippines. Got married. Had 2 kids. My dad being one of them. My Uncle Jim, rest in peace, who's the other son that he had. And unfortunately enough, my dad has not that much recollection of my grandfather because of on April 29th, 1951. And if you look at some of this memorial right there, June 25th, 1950 to July 27th, 1953, some of the memorials that they have here. But on April 29th, 1951, my grandfather lost his life in the battle in Korea. And the reason why it's affecting my life and my family's life, and when I say affecting, not affecting in a bad way, so don't take it the wrong way, but this is what I mean about affecting our life. So he was born in San Bernardino, Los Angeles, down south. Had most likely some siblings, some brothers, some sisters. Most likely he did. And so when he passed away in Korea, met my grandmother, like I said, in the Philippines, had 2 kids. Before my grandmother passed away a few years ago, she was a little older. A lot of her memory was kind of gone. She only knew that my grandfather had family in Southern California and some in St. Louis. So with my last name not being so common, we decided to go, check Facebook to go see how many of my family name was around. And there was a lot. There was tons. Some in the Philippines. There was also some in everywhere. There's a couple here in the Bay Area who I tried to reach out to before that I don't know if we're related, but with my last name being not that common, there has to be a way that we're related. That's the only thing I can think of. That's the only thing that, a lot of us can think of. My last name is not common. So we have to be related one way or the other. But how? How are we related? That's what I want to know. See, for the longest time, I thought my last name was so common or not common that we were the only, I'm not going to say my last name, but if you know who I am, you know what my last name is. But for the longest time, I thought we were the only ones here. You know, I thought, okay, my uncle, you know, is kind of sort of the playboy, probably had a couple kids in the Philippines that, you know, we don't really know about. And my dad, and knowing my dad, you know, it's just me and my sister. So we only thought it was us. And the day that I was at City College one afternoon, before the internet was invented or us being able to use it, there was a bunch of telephone directories, white pages. If you guys remember white pages, give me a thumbs up if you remember white pages. But there was a bunch of yellow pages, different states, different city. So I decided I got some time to kill in between classes. Let's go check out my last name and see if there's a bunch of us other than what I know in San Francisco. Let's go check that out. Then lo and behold, what did I find? I found a bunch of people with the same last name as me. St. Louis, some in Chicago, even one here in San Diego. And what makes the twist a little more ironic is I had a co-worker that I met in Bodine's, that I worked at Bodine's, who I helped them move to San Diego. I drove the U-Haul to San Diego, and my whole intention was to meet this family that shared the last name that I had. And after talking to my co-worker's mom, she told me their middle name was the same middle name that my dad has. So this person that I helped move to San Diego, I ended up finding out she's distant relatives. So we call each other cousin. Estrelita, shout out to you down in San Diego. So when I got to San Diego, I met this family who shared the same last name as me. And the dad at the time, I'm pretty sure this was a while back, he was old then, so I'm pretty sure he's passed away now. But I met the dad and I met the son, I met the wife, and the dad kind of resembled what I would think my grandfather would look like. You know, and I asked him about my grandfather, told him the name, Marcelo. He didn't know of a Marcelo. That was kind of the heartbreaking part. That was kind of the disappointing part. But my grandfather was born in San Bernardino, which is not that far from San Diego, Southern California. So if he had relatives, I would think the relatives would be there, scattered in San Diego, right? So what ended up happening was I went home, I told my dad, this is the people that I met, they have our last name, and my dad, not remembering anything from my grandfather, not remembering anything from what my grandmother told her, didn't know if he was related to us or not, didn't know if they were related to us or not. And, you know, again, talking to my dad now, he doesn't know who's related to us. He doesn't know where our origin or where the family name comes from. And for the longest time, I thought our name is from the Philippines, and that's it. Nowhere else. You know, I thought my grandfather had 2 kids, my dad and my Uncle Jim, rest in peace, Uncle Jim, and I thought that was it. And again, like I said, my Uncle Jim's kind of sort of a playboy, so I had, you know, a couple more kids outside of, you know, what he did. So we came to the conclusion that there's a couple more people floating around out there. So I decided, you know what, I'm going to do a quick history search and find out who is my grandfather and where he's from and do all that other stuff. My sister did an ancestry thing, try to find out more about, where our genes came from. But the bad thing about the Ancestry.com is it only tells you the origin of your family. It tells you where your family's from or what nationality percentage you are and all that stuff. It doesn't really tell you the family name, the family history, where can you find the rest of your family. It doesn't really tell you all that. So that's the only bad thing about Ancestry.com and all these other sites. It doesn't, pinpoint who you are. So I can't go knocking on someone's door and say, hey, because at Ancestry.com, I think we're related. I can't. Someone's going to look at me like, I don't have any money. How much money do you want? That's probably what I would do if someone reached out to me and said, hey, I think we're related. Nowadays, it's more like, sorry, I'm broke. How much money do you want? Sorry, but that's the truth. So that's the bad thing about that. So what I did was I did a Google search. I searched all this stuff. And let me whip out my phone here because my grandfather served in the military, died in Korea, Sergeant First Class. He got a Korean Service Medal, National Defense Service Medal, Purple Heart, United Nations Service Medal, and a Combat Infantry badge, Infantryman badge. This was the Korean War. Of course, we didn't see any of this. This was back in the 50s. My grandmother tells me a story about there was a medal. There was something in one of the houses, a big typhoon hit. Typhoon washed everything away. Medals are lost. So we can't, I'm pretty sure there's a way I can call the military, the United States Army, and ask if I can get these medals redone. Check this out. Can you guys see those? I have to flip the camera around, but a couple of gunships flying this direction, or flying away from me. It's kind of trippy. So, back to what I was saying. So I got distracted there. So, yeah. So my grandmother said the medals are lost, all gone, can't be found. I tried to replace some of them. I found a few of them that was someone found somewhere, reached out to me and asked me if I had this person as a relative, and I said yes. He's a grandfather that I've never met. Decided send the medals to me. So I took those medals, I put it in a nice frame, took the letter, and I gave it to my dad for, I don't remember if it was Father's Day, Christmas, or his birthday. One of the two. I gave it to him, one of the three. So did a little more digging. After this whole Mother's Day passed, my sister and I were really into trying to find out who our grandfather was, what he looked like. The whole purpose was we're just trying to find a picture of what he looks like because we don't know what he looks like. My dad doesn't remember what he looks like. So that was the whole purpose of the conversation. Do you have a picture or do you remember what he looks like? You search Google, you put his name in, you get a bunch of other people with the same last name that, again, we're most likely related. I just don't know how, but most likely we're related. So we did the search, and I found another person who shared the same last name that died years before in World War II. Same thing, same branch, Army, but this person supposedly lived in the Philippines. I don't know if he lived in the Philippines or died in the Philippines, but the only thing I can find was Philippines, and his name was Paulino. My grandfather was Marcelo, so Marcelo, Paulino could almost sound kind of sort of the same, but just ironic how that happened. And so this whole time we're trying to figure out how can we find a picture of my grandfather? How? Looking at these pictures right here, I mean, you can see that these guys are Korean, and it says it right there, Republic of Korea. Soldiers advanced towards the front in 1953. But looking at these guys with the Asian look, any of these guys could have been my grandfather. Any of these guys. But, you know, you got these group of troops right here. Any of these guys could have been my grandfather. This picture was taken in 1950. It says U.S. Marine storm Ichon turret turning the tide of the war in 1950. This picture was taken again in 1950. This one was here, taken in 1950. My grandfather died April of 1951. So if I look at this picture right now, and I look for a guy who's at least 5'3", because that's what they said he was, you know, thanks for the height, Grandpa. But if I look at any of these pictures, any of these guys could be my grandfather, because I don't know what he looks like. I don't. So that was the whole reason why we started the topic. That was the whole reason why we started talking, to see if we actually had a picture of my grandfather. I know I'm blabbing and blabbing and blabbing and talking and talking and talking, because we're just kind of trying to figure out, you know, it's like there's a piece of closure that we kind of want to have to do. And it's kind of like, if we did find a picture of my grandfather and we did authenticate and see that it really is him, I don't have anyone to authenticate it anymore. My grandmother, like I said, she passed away. So I can't ask anybody, is this my grandfather? The only thing I can say is that the U.S. military gives me, the U.S. Army sends me a picture of his enlistment picture, and it has his name on the bottom, shows a picture of him. That's the only thing I can do. That's the only thing I have. I don't have anything else, because again, I don't know what he looks like. I'm assuming he would look something like my dad, maybe a mixture of me and my dad with a lot more hair. But I wouldn't know, because I don't know what he looks like. And I wish I did, but I don't. How crazy is that? I grew up only knowing my grandmothers, not knowing my grandfathers. My grandfather served in the U.S. military. He served in one of the major wars. He was definitely, definitely a soldier. He was a member of the 5th Cavalry Regiment, the 1st Cavalry Division. And all we can find on the internet, died of serious wounds and injuries in the Korean War. That's all we can find. Can't find a picture. Can't find what he looks like. And I guess me coming out to you guys and asking you guys, I'm not going to say the last name, because if I say the last name, it gives up my last name, and I don't need you guys Googling my last name and doing all that stuff. But if you guys are serious and you guys want to help, try to help me out, then send me a message. We'll link up and try to figure this out together. We will. We can. I think I rambled long enough. Don't you? I think I did. But it's one of those things you think about. It's one of those things you think about, and it's kind of weird how the topic came on Mother's Day. We started talking about my grandfather on Mother's Day, and we're trying to find out, little bits and pieces of history. When my grandmother died, we got a lot of things that belonged to my grandfather. Like we found his death certificate. We found out we got his death certificate, and we found out this whole time we never knew that my dad was a junior. My grandfather named his oldest son after him. We never knew that. We never knew that till about 2-3 years ago. So it's one of those things where like, whoa, I don't even think my dad knew, because my dad was kind of shocked when he found out he was a junior, and he gets mad at us now because we keep calling him junior, and he's like, don't call me junior. Don't call me junior. But you're a junior. What are you going to do about it? You're a junior. Be happy. Be happy. But again, it's one of those things where you start thinking about people you have, the people that's in your life, the people that's here with you, and you start wishing you can have more people around you to ask them questions about then. If my grandfather was still alive right now, he'd be in his 80s, 90s. He'd be somewhere in that era, maybe even older. If you, most likely he wouldn't be around right now. He'd most likely be gone because old age. But if he was still around, there's a lot of questions I want to ask. Like, who's your family in Southern California? Who's your family in San Bernardino? Do we know them? Have I already come across them? Have I? Is this person that shares the same last name as me that lives in Vallejo related to us? Are they? And if they are, we're not here to ask for like money or anything like that. We just want to find out where our family tree starts, where it started, where it's going, and where it will go. That's all it is. That's all we want to do. That's some people don't look at it like that. So I don't know. I'm just blabbing. That's all. I'm just blabbing. But again, I blabbed long enough. Thumbs up. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. I am using the DJI Osmo Action more. I really, really enjoy it right now. Still learning a lot of new things. So if there's something that's not right or something that doesn't look right, I will definitely fix. I am getting the DJI Osmo Pocket back. I got the email from DJI saying that it's coming back. It's coming back soon. How soon? I don't know. So I might use both of them. I might sell the DJI. I don't know. I don't know what I'll do. I don't know. I'm still going to use this for a while. Still got the Lumix. Still got the Canon. And I'm definitely going to upgrade to the Canon G7X Mark III in the oncoming future. But till then, I'm going to be using the Osmo Action. I will. Thumbs up. Again, like, comment, and subscribe. My Patreon account is down below. Definitely donate on my Patreon account so I can get out and do more adventure. Once the state is opened up again and we can do a little more things, I can bring more adventure to you guys. And yes, I have my mask. I have 2 masks in my pocket just in case, but I am outdoors. I'm not around anybody. Look, nobody's around me. Nobody's around me. No, if I see a ghost in this picture later on, I'd freak out. Nobody's around me, so don't need to put a mask on right now. I'm more than 6 feet away from the next person. So I don't need to put a mask. But follow me on Patreon. Once the shelter in place is a little more laxed and lifted, we will continue with our San Francisco journey. Right now, going around with the camera, pointing it at places. People are looking at me like, what the heck are you doing? I don't want to do that. And yes, yesterday's video, if you guys watch close, I accidentally ran over a stop sign. Don't tell anyone. It was an accident. I was too busy and focused on this. Thumbs up, like, comment, subscribe. Leave me comments down below. Anything you want to talk about, anything you want to discuss, you want to help me out with my family tree and help my family, help me find my family members, let me know. Thanks for watching, guys. Sorry for the rant and the long rant that it was. Vlog's ended. Go in peace. These guys are coming back. Well, one of them. The other one's here somewhere. It's kind of reminding me of Outbreak. Oh, there's the other one right there. Right in the sun. I don't know what they're looking for. Or if they're looking for anyone. The Outbreak monkey is out on a ship outside the Golden Gate Bridge. That's what you're looking for.